Hey guys, we are the Let's Talk 20s podcast. I am your host, Tanner.
I'm one of the co-hosts, Connor.
And I'm your other co-host, GT.
Guys, this podcast is centered around common themes that people in their 20s may be going through, whether it's anxiety, depression, other mental health things, relationships, and so much more. It's all about things that we're all going through together. We may think we're going through it individually, but the point of this podcast is bringing light to things that we're all going through together.
We can't wait for you guys to hear about our thoughts with this. We upload weekly episodes every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. sharp, so please tune into that if you'd like to hear the episodes. We also all come together every week for a different topic, and we each share our perspective on that 3 times a week, so please look forward to those as well.
And you guys can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts at Let's Talk 20s Podcast. We look forward to seeing you guys soon.
And with that being said, please enjoy this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of the Let's Talk 20s podcast. I'm here with my two best friends, aka co-hosts, aka Connor and GT. Fellas, what's going on today?
What's up, everybody?
Well, I hope everyone's doing fantastic. To answer your own question, Connor, before we press record, we kind of, and the episode that I probably won't use and will be forever in the vault, kind of talking about what's going on in our own lives and how we are.
Episode.
If we're mentally sound or well, that's debatable, but
depends what you're looking for.
Yeah, it depends what people want to hear. But we are kind of talking about our mental health, kind of where we're at, kind of just checking in because it's hard. Sometimes we go weeks without talking outside of us recording weekly, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, by the way. At times, I know I should probably call you guys a little bit more to actually catch up.
Yeah, same.
True.
Connor and I were talking about at the beginning of the year getting to hang out together. We still haven't hung out this whole year.
Damn. Yeah, you boys got to do something for sure.
Down. We would love Tanner to join, but
a little far away for that. But
a little busy
as well, for sure. We all
are.
Our
occupations.
For this week, we're kind of. I mean, it is a topic, but it's not necessarily. It's a check-in that we've done. I think actually this is the third one. I think we've done a pretty good job about checking every 3 months about our New Year's resolutions and kind of even outside of our resolutions, how we've been doing this year so far. Have we achieved things we wanted to? Are we keeping ourselves accountable for principles that we wanted to implement within ourselves and our relationships? Yada, yada, yada. You guys get the point. So with that being said, this is going to be the, I guess, third quarter check-in. Check-in number 3 of the New Year's resolutions. So to kind of start us off, guys, if you don't mind me asking a first question, I just want to ask a very vague question thus far, without even you talking specifically about your resolutions or things that are on your list. Are you proud of yourself of where you are now in terms of where you were at the beginning of the year to now in your own journey of personal growth thus far? Or do you expect more change within yourself between then and now?
I look at it as I am proud of more so the man of who I am, but I think there's still some facets that I but I know that I still need to work on a little bit more, and I know I still have 2 more months, and not even just for next year, it's for future me. I would say I'm okay with where I'm at, and it's a lot better than last year. I will say that 100%, and I will take that, but I hold myself to a little bit of a high standard sometimes, and sometimes I'm just not quite there. But you know what? We always say if you're 1% better each day, then why are you tripping? Why are you hanging your head or upset? So, but just making sure staying positive as always, staying calm, chill, patient, and just letting things take its course. But I would say, yeah, just want a little bit more in these next 2 months, but it'll happen. So I look forward to it.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Honest answer as well. I appreciate the honesty, man. What about you, Connor?
I think that, I did come back from an awesome vacation from Shay, so that was like a highlight of my year, of course. So naturally, the week after was gonna. Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, so it was a good weekend.
It was a great weekend.
It
was her and I's first vacation together, so it was just really special for us in a lot of ways. So naturally, I think it was always going to feel like a bit of just lower the week after that. Overall, I think I'm happy definitely, just like GT said, I'm in a kind of similar boat. I'm definitely happier with where I am now than where I was last year. And even though I don't really think I've taken a lot of steps like forward, like physically in my life, as much as I maybe would have liked from the beginning of the year, even though there's a lot of things that I have done that are new, I think that I actually have improved my mindset. And I actually think my mental health and the way I've approached it is much better than it used to be. So I think that's definitely something that's been a lot better, even though I feel like I'm in a down period and have been in a little bit of a down period just because I'm too hard on myself and I feel like I don't have a lot going on because I backed out of the whole school thing and I'm trying to figure out what's next and not trying to force it. So I'm kind of just like living and just working and trying to get back to my old hobbies and habits. And so some things are improving and some things are falling short. So I'm a man of balance and I like to keep that. So I look forward to seeing what the holidays are going to be like being with my family, with my friends, with Shay and her family. And I look forward to seeing things improve in some ways. But my daily things and the resolutions, like we'll talk about, I hope to accomplish more progress on that and more consistency with that, I would say. But overall, it's good compared to last year.
I love that as well. I love that for both of you. For me, it overall, I'm happy with where I've gone and where I've been. At the beginning of the year, I had the whole goal of even getting into grad school, and now I am into my second semester. And although right now at times my mental health can be a little low, and at times it can feel like I am lacking because I'm prioritizing school and that aspect of my life so much. There's certain parts of my life that maybe aren't getting the attention they were before, such as, unfortunately, Cameron and I aren't seeing each other as much. I mean, we were seeing each other almost every day, which, as us previously being a long distance relationship, that was amazing to go from seeing each other every month, month and a half, sometimes even 2 months at a time, to then seeing each other every day, to back to only 1 or 2 days a week because of our busy schedules. That bothers me, and there's a few other things that I wish I could dedicate more time or attention to. But you guys gave me advice that I tell myself, but I also kind of need to hear from other people, is that I have something new that's in my life that demands that attention. That's just the beauty of life and how you can only dedicate so much of the time of day. So, long story short, yes, I'm happy with where I'm at. I feel like there were some New Year's resolutions that I have improved on and exceeded, but then there's some things such as my physical health, going to the gym, that kind of area of my life has been lacking. So I need to, be honest about that. But it can't be perfect in every area. I think all three of us can admit to that. And I think that's kind of the beauty of New Year's resolutions, is you can even take these things towards next year and realize that, okay, I wanted to improve on this and I didn't. And then you have that self-reflection of why you were unable to achieve it in 2023. Can you do it in 2024? That kind of deal.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I can kick it off. I think as far as our specific resolutions, I think one of them is being a healthier me. I think from the start of the year, absolutely, especially with how this was my first season not playing. Because during the summer, went through all that, and now with this, it's actually, being completely honest, this is going into just a year over not playing. It's tough. I'm not gonna lie, it's tough to know that I still know a lot of people that are playing, and I know guys in pro ball right now that you see on TV. But I've been a lot better as far as accepting of it all and not beating myself up over it. Because if that's God's plan, then who am I to rewrite God's plan? And I've said it multiple times on this podcast. I mean, who am I to tell him, like, nope, you're wrong. It's going to be written like this. Because, yeah, we're going to see how that goes. But I definitely would say, health-wise, I'm actually very happy with where I'm at, because I've been hitting the gyms, and I'm not going to lie. As soon as I stand up out of this chair, my little body's going to be killing, because Friday I went crazy in the gym. One thing that I am very disappointed in myself is not making more time for reading. That has been something I've been disappointed in myself. So I have all these books I want to read, but I just don't read. I don't get it. So I would say those three mainly I could talk the most about. So
Very
what
good.
about you guys?
I mean,
Tanner?
yeah, I feel like besides the gym, I've kind of gotten a lot better at the main overarching themes, like GT kind of discussed, including getting closer to God, including improving my relationships and my now fiance, which I kind of forgot about that at the beginning of the year. I didn't really, I mean, I knew I was going to propose at some point, but I had no idea exactly when.
It was lockdown, baby.
That was my main focus, was my relationships and interpersonal kind of skills and becoming closer with people that matter to me. Because I realized that maybe in the last few years, I obviously made a bunch of friendships and still had a bunch of friendships and relationships that were very important to me. But I realized that there was times where I almost took people in my life for granted. And it's one of those things where you never know when it's the last time you'll speak to someone or see someone. And I know that can be a little bit of a negative way to view life. But with that being said, that kind of thought really inspired me to make sure that the few true meaningful relationships I have in my life need to matter on a day-to-day basis, not when I feel like it, when I choose to, whenever I need something from them, on a day-to-day basis, the good and the bad. So that's something I really want to emphasize, and I've definitely have become more empathetic with people that matter to me in my life, things like that. And yeah, really, the mental health has gotten a lot better. My way of coping with things have overall have gotten a lot better. And you know, it's all about that self improvement on a day to day basis. Me as a man, as an
Sure, man.
individual, all my roles of how I am in comparison to other people. So, what about you, Connor?
I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to
I'm
hear
happy to
that.
hear that from both of y'all.
Thank you, boys.
Yeah, I mean, can't hit everything on the target that you're trying to aim for, but you interviewed a couple of things, right? It's better than where you were at. Yeah, I would say if we're referring to our resolutions, I got them right here, of course. I really have pretty much done all of them. I did them pretty quickly this year, thankfully. I made a lot of progress, so I definitely feel like maybe in future years I'll try to space it out more so that I don't feel like I'm wasting my potential and stuff. Or I suppose I could add resolutions and goals for myself if I end up accomplishing everything I want to do. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just done with the year. It's like, well, I don't need to do that. I could add on more stuff, right?
Mm.
So maybe thinking about that for 2024. Really, the only thing that I haven't done is I haven't played live music yet, but I just started taking bass lessons, and I think that's going to change, to be completely honest with y'all, because my teacher wants me to do live music, and I've got 3 months left in the year, and he's already talking about me doing some like easy stuff. So I think that will change, and that's pretty much it right now, to be honest, with what I want to do. Overall, I would say, kind of similar to Tanner, my approach to my mental health has gotten better, and I still do at times, but definitely comparatively to last year and the year before, I don't know, I'm better at coping, and I'm better at dealing with things, and I have better strategies to deal with stuff. And a lot of the times it's kind of just not overthinking things, not overcomplicating things, and just trying to take a little more action rather than thinking about stuff for me. So things like meditation have helped me. Exercise and my physical health have definitely helped. I wish that my physical health was better. I wish I was more consistent with that this year. That'll be more of a priority definitely going into next year. I got to figure out a new workout program. And GT, I feel you about those books, man. That reading, that was the thing that took the biggest hit. And it's so hard because I love reading.
It's almost sad.
It is sad. And even if I haven't read one full book. I've read like pages of a bunch of different books, but I have not read one full book. I'll just be honest. And I just need to make time for it, but I just don't. I'll just be honest. I don't. There's other things that I am focusing on, and it hasn't been that. So overall, I think I'm pretty happy with where I'm at with my resolutions. I'd like to just work on my mental focus, on my expectations with myself a little bit, and maybe not just being so hard on myself with where I'm at in life and managing stuff like that, so that when I make my goals, I'm maybe not as strict on myself with what I'm supposed to accomplish. Not even be realistic, but just not expect like that if I don't do everything that I set out to do, that it's not like a failure. That's something that I'm trying to change with my mindset a little bit by just not being so hard on myself. So all good things, some growing pains, but all good things overall.
Well, I think those are all great things that we're being honest and realistic in terms of saying that we're actually meeting the goals that we wanted to achieve or falling a little short. That personal accountability, which is tying into my next question, is what is something that maybe right now that you want to maybe improve on, or something about yourself in terms of your relationships, etc., that you know for a fact will be something on your 2024 list that maybe you didn't expect to have on your list when you started this year?
Something that came.
I got one if you need to think about it.
Yeah,
GT.
I need a sec.
Yeah, I would say one thing that I didn't expect that was going to be on my radar like as quickly is me moving out and me changing my living and work situation. At the beginning of this year, I had different goals with my job and my school and things like that. I had the idea that all of these kind of things were going to stay stagnant as long as I could keep them. But because I've made different decisions with that, I have to change my living situation because I don't have to change it, but I want to change it because of where I want to go in my life, and who I'm potentially going to move in will impact that as well. But I also think my job situation, I thought it was more stable than it was. And it's also because I've shifted with school and stuff, I'm also thinking bigger picture now than just like what I'm working. What do I want to do? You know, I mean, I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I know it's not this. I'm okay with it, but I want to make a little more money. I like certain parts of my job. And so I'm having to really think about my career in a completely different way. And I'm having to think more about this avenue where I thought my career was going to go. That's kind of turning into more of a hobby that I'm just pursuing when I can and maybe making some money off of it. And now I'm thinking of a more, it's not that my career wasn't serious before, but I'm now thinking of a different type of career that was just as serious. So that's something I didn't expect. I did not expect that I was going to be thinking about going into another business position. I might even be going into finance and accounting, to be completely honest with y'all. That's where my head's kind of at right now.
Join the team. That might be in there.
Good money. It's not super difficult depending on what you do.
It's good money.
It just depends. Yeah, and if you have any kind of experience, you can get a job pretty easily, even if you have any kind of college degree. So that's kind of where I'm at.
I would say something that I now came up with it, and I've been thinking about it for a while, is being way more serious and on top of my stuff with saving for a future house and a car. Because granted, I have a car that's old, like an old model, but it's like a new engine. But just trying to be a little bit smarter with money. You know, not going to get an energy drink before work unless like I absolutely need it. And just being more on top of my stuff and being a little bit more grown.
That's the beauty of growing up, man. And I mean that just literally as in getting older, not about your maturity or anything, but unfortunately as we get older, we have the more responsibilities, and we do have to slowly but surely take things a little bit more seriously, or kind of sacrifice what would have been a little more leisure in order to benefit our future selves. So my main thing is pretty much just following through with what thoughts come into my mind in terms of if I want to take action, actually taking action. Mainly talking about my physical health. You know, in school, one of the classes I'm taking is surface anatomy. We have to take our shirts off and palpate on our classmates for various bony landmarks, muscles, etc. And it's to the point, bro, where like even around people that I'm with every day, I just truly don't feel comfortable in my own skin at times. And that is a tough thing for me to say out loud, but at the same time, it's me being truthful. And it's things where I do eat cleaner. I do go to the gym and exercise when I can. But if I don't feel comfortable in my own skin and I know I need to take action, then why am I not taking action on a day-to-day basis? So it's things like that where I can apply that kind of mindset to really all areas of improvement in my life that I feel like I'm lacking in, that I am taking some action in, but I'm not completely diving in fully. And not saying I need to work on myself 24/7, because then I'll never be able to fully relax, but to pointedly say that if things are bothering me and I know I can change it, why am I not changing it? Does that make sense?
No, absolutely.
So, you know, we're all improving. day to day,
It's a-
week to week, month to month.
I mean, that's a tough kind of mindset that you got to think about when you're adopting that. But I don't know. I just for school, man. It just seems like all your focus is towards that too, so it's hard for you to shift with that. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's definitely what it is, and it's for me to say that I will find a balance or that there is a balance. Like some of the professors say, oh, you guys just got to find a balance and find things that work for you. No,
Yeah.
there would not be a balance. That's the whole point of why I'm in
I
grad
know.
school. There will not be a balance. I don't care what people say. So it's
Yeah.
one of those things where I just have to make sure I'm taking care of myself and be one of those things
Yeah.
where if I'm giving enough attention to what I want to or need to, then that's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be a whole thing where I allocate 3 hours a day to fitness and I have to make that work every day. You know what I mean? It's more of a
Yeah.
subjective instead of objective goals. But
Yeah, you know how it is when you don't make progress towards something that you want to, and it just feels like it's worse than it actually is.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like I found even something as simple as just going for a walk for 20 minutes or a run for 20 minutes in the morning makes me feel better in the morning. I'm like, oh, I wish I worked out more, but at least I went for a run or something like that. It's almost like picking and choosing those victories that you're trying to get and making them smaller and managing that. You know, it's
All
hard
right.
though, man. I get it.
Yeah, it
I
is
get it.
hard. It's
There's
just one
just
of
a
those
class
things.
too where you have to do that. Where you have to do
Uh,
that, like you gotta analyze the anatomy and stuff. I have a question. All right, so we're 3/4 of the way through the year. We've got time to do a couple of. I mean, you still have 3 months, full months to make progress on things that you want to. A lot can happen in 3 months, right? So, if you guys had to pick one characteristic or aspect of something that you thought you were good at by like at the beginning of the year, but you feel like it's actually gotten worse. Not something that you wanted to get better, but something that you didn't even expect was going to just naturally get
Worse?
worse. Is there anything that has happened for you guys this year that has happened like that?
This is not me saying I'm better or I got all my stuff figured out. Now I have no flaws. I honestly don't think I've gotten worse at something per se. I don't think my mindset goes that way, but I completely understand why it's relevant and why it is a very important question, especially for not just people in your 20s, but for those outside of your 20s. I think me personally, I don't think I've seen or experienced or felt anything.
That's good, man. Yeah, I think you just look at stuff as honestly as you can, and I'm glad that you don't feel like that's happened to you, honestly, because it's a tough thing to come to terms with when you do feel like you've done that. Like for me, I try to improve on a couple of things. Like I wanted to be more stable with my emotions and my mental health. I wanted to be more physically fit, like all these things. But one thing that has kind of reared its head in a way that I didn't expect was just me being present, actually. I feel like I am not as present in moments with people that I care about like I used to be. I take that stuff for granted, and it's not even about being in my head because I'm always in my head, but I don't know, even last year when I moved back here, maybe because everything was new and I was back home again, and it was the start of an amazing relationship. I remember feeling more present, and I have gotten worse at being appreciative of what's happening in the moment with me and like immersing myself in the moment. I'll be talking to my friends and I'll be just thinking about something else or on my phone doing something else. I'll be at dinner and I'm just on my phone playing a game or something, like not engaging. I'll be driving listening to music and then I'll just turn off the music because I can't focus and I'll just sit in silence. I don't know. I used to be a little more present with what was going on in the world, and I thought mindfulness was the reason why I wasn't practicing mindfulness, but I don't know what it is, but I've just gotten worse at that this year, honestly. Like even with the podcast, sometimes I can feel myself. I'm talking to you guys, and then my mind's somewhere else. So you guys are talking, and my mind's thinking about somebody else. Or I have an urge to check my phone when you guys are talking, and I'm like, "What am I doing?" It's just gotten worse this year, and it's sad. And I wish it's something I really need to improve on. I didn't expect that was something that was going to get worse.
you spoke something into existence for me. Come to think of it, it's definitely something that I thought about myself, but I didn't really think it was that bad of a decline. But maybe it is. I know it's definitely something I need to improve on, is what I'm getting at. Mine is because of the new things that have happened in my life. The standards I have for myself have been raised, and I feel like simultaneously the way I talk to myself has kind of gotten worse in some ways. It's not terrible. Like the way I view myself, I still try to be very optimistic and very enthusiastic on a day-to-day basis, but I've noticed that my lows have definitely gone lower. When I feel more strongly, and I don't know why and what has triggered that this year specifically, but my highs are highs and my lows have just gone a little lower. And I think it's just the standards that I have for myself have gone higher. Therefore, the demands that I require mentally for myself have gone higher. And when I don't get to that level, I can be a little more negative towards myself and my self-talk. And I know we've talked about it before, and I think it's something that overall I've gotten significantly better throughout the year, but recently it's declined a lot, and I'm still searching for the reason why as well. I think I what I mentioned was the source, but I think there's more to it than that.
You've taken some pretty big steps with your life. You just got engaged and you just started school, and maybe it's hard when you're trying to prepare for that, like your head is, or your brain, or whatever you do, when you try to prepare for it, you think it's going to go a certain way, and I know it hasn't exactly gone the way that you thought it was going to go. So I know you and I can be similar in that way. And I'm not saying I know anything about what you're going through, but maybe it's just you're just internalizing that and taking it out on yourself, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I just don't think my releases are super healthy right now, and
Yeah.
I think that is what I need to fix more. I believe me doing things for myself, simple things as going to gym on a daily basis, having some sort of release is what's going to help. We will keep doing it, but I think we can wrap up the episode here, guys. I think this was
absolutely.
I think this was a good check-in, and I am very happy to see what will happen in the next 3 months. Hopefully all good things. And same thing for all of you who are listening or watching. I know that you've been along this journey. Some of my good friends who have been listening since day one and text me every once in a while saying they love the episodes. That means a lot to me, and you are growing with us through the episodes as well. And I know that because I check in with you guys, and it's really awesome that you guys are kind of doing these check-ins as we are. So I appreciate you guys listening and watching to another episode. Guys, what we got going on this week, Connor?
Well, we've got our special schedule of a Tuesday night upload of the schedule for what's coming out in the week. So yeah, Tuesday you can look for the weekly wisdom topics in the order that it's going to come out with us three. You can look for the episode coming out on Wednesdays. That will be uploaded at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, schedule as well on Tuesday. And then we've got our weekly wisdom uploads 3 times a week. It happens respectively Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday nights at 7 p.m. respectively for each one of us.
That's exactly right.
You know where you can find us? Ta-da! You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, IG, baby. Let's Talk 20s Podcast. Go check them out, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Ta-da, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of this episode. I appreciate you guys once again the support that we've been having recently. We're just doing it, seeing whoever wants to listen to it can, and the fact that for the few of you who do actually listen to these are taking something away from it and reaching out to the three of us and letting us know personally, that means a lot. That's the whole reason why we're doing this, is for those individuals and ourselves, as we mentioned before. Can't wait to listen on this episode around New Year's to see, okay, Tanner, did you do everything that you said you're going to? Man of your word. But guys, have a great rest of your week. Take care of yourselves. Until the next one. Peace.